This is a presentation of Northeast Streaming Sports.
Postseason, here we come. The Yankees have clinched. Oh my goodness, what great news. What great baseball news. The Yankees have clinched. It's right there in front of them. We keep going to that phrase, but my goodness, we laughed at Aaron Boone a lot when he said it. We laughed at him incessantly when he said it the last many years. It's right there in front of us. It's right there in front of us, but it is now. The Yankees have clinched a berth in the postseason. And now the World Series, a World's Championship, is right there in front of them. All right, my dear friends, welcome to the Dr. Sem Yankees Show. Today is Saturday, September the 21st, 2024. But today isn't Saturday. Today is Thursday, and it's before 6 a.m., and here I am. And I don't mind. I always wake up early. But normally I record this show on a Friday. This week I'm recording this show on a Thursday. We have a big weekend in my family. I have 3 sons. My middle son, the second son, Alex. Well, Alex is getting married this weekend. And so we have a full weekend beginning Thursday night, tonight, of family activities and family gatherings and happiness and joy and wonder. And yes, most of all, lots of love. That's all on the schedule for this weekend. Family joy, family love, family happiness, family celebration as we celebrate and honor the wedding of my son Alex to his sweetheart from back when they were in middle school, Perry. So it's a big weekend. In order to make sure that I have this show recorded, I figured, well, let me just record it early Thursday morning. So I woke up this morning to the fact that the Yankees won in extra innings. They beat the Mariners on Wednesday night. And that victory is the one that has propelled the Yankees into the postseason. So let's make today a great day. How could it be otherwise? But how can any day be otherwise? We all have the power within us to make every day great. The easiest, the best way to do that is to look around the world at all the good that's there. And even in your darkest moments, even when you're the saddest, the most distraught, the most cranky, even when you're looking for the bad, the good is always there. It really is. But in case you ever get obscured from seeing it, if you ever get to the point where you refuse to notice anything that's good, well, then create good. Do nice things. I've said this my whole professional life. Well, maybe not my whole professional life, but lots, especially over the last 10 to 14 years. When you give love from the heart, it's got to be sincere. But when you give it, when you give understanding, when you give compassion, when you give empathy, when you give kindness, it comes back to you in greater amounts, far greater amounts than you ever gave. So many people spend their time looking for the ways to chop others down, to insult. And so many others say, I won't respect anybody until they respect me. It's not the way to do it. Go out and give respect, give kindness, give love, show understanding, give empathy. And you'll be surprised very quickly when you start those habits, how much all of those attributes and so many more positive attributes are sent right back to you. When we give love, it comes back to us in greater amounts than we ever gave it. So the Yankees have clinched. That's pretty cool. That's great. That's wonderful. They won an extra innings on Wednesday night, and the guy who got the biggest hit was Anthony Volpe. Excuse me, Anthony Rizzo. I have it right here, and I say the wrong name as I'm reading. Crazy. You know, Anthony Rizzo was having a great season 2 years ago, and then he had that concussion. And while we're celebrating the Yankees, we're never going to just gloss over all of their many flaws. We're not going to say, well, they're in the postseason now. It's all good. They've never made a mistake. They really blew it with their treatment of Anthony Rizzo with that concussion. They played him every day for 6 weeks or 9 weeks or something crazy. And he didn't hit in that whole time. And Aaron Boone, the great communicator, never thought to sit down with his first baseman and have an honest discussion. Doesn't sound like great communicating. But what happens oftentimes in the news cycle with real life big time things, and in the sports news cycle with less important things, is a story becomes a story for a moment, and then it goes away. And then it seems like something that's so long ago that we never even bring it up again. Oh, Anthony Rizzo and the concussion. What was that, 20 years ago? No, it was 1 season ago. All the same players in place. The Yankees really blew that. And then he came back this year, wasn't doing particularly well, and then he broke his arm on a freak play at first base. And he's made his way back again, and he hasn't been good. But when you look around the Yankees, and there's so many guys to root for, so many guys who are so fun, including my favorite Yankee, as everyone knows, Juan Soto, my favorite current Yankee. Oh, I hope they keep him. My goodness, you can't let Juan Soto go. But one of the guys who I've always really also liked is Anthony Rizzo. And I'm so happy that good things are happening for Anthony Rizzo. And I'm so glad that he's the guy that got the big hit. You know, you have to admire the guy who admittedly is losing his skills and his ability, who is no longer elite, who's hanging in there, just barely hanging by a thread. But he's grinding it out. Now, granted, when he's doing poorly, we don't really want that guy coming up at the plate. But it's who the Yankees have. And we can still, at the same time, be frustrated that he's in the lineup, bemoan the fact that the Yankees blew it with his concussion last year, and also at the same time still root for him and take joy and be jubilant and happy when he comes through with the big RBI. You know, I only saw the highlights. I think it was a double. He hit it right down the right field line, but he's slow, so maybe he held it to a single. But anyway, with the big hit in the 10th inning to give the Yankees the lead, which they would not relinquish. And he's the hero for the day. And it's great and it's wonderful. And I'm very happy for Anthony Rizzo. So on the Sunday thread, quick note about Start Spreading the News, the great Yankee site that I run. Since we are going to be engaged in all sorts of family activities this weekend, the wonderful and terrific Andy Singer is running the blog in my absence. But I worked very hard to make sure that we didn't miss any of our articles. See, most people don't do stuff like this. Yeah, they'd say, hey, we're going to be away. We're going to be celebrating. We're going to be whatever they're doing. So we'll put fewer articles up. Or we won't update the site for the weekend as we celebrate a wedding or a birth or a vacation. But not us. Not at Start Spreading the News. Whether I'm there or not, the articles will come every day at 6, 10, and 2, except if there's an afternoon or an afternoon baseball game that preempts the 2 o'clock. And then, of course, if there's a game, there's the game thread, and there'll be the game recap the next day. I mean, we never miss. We've never missed. I mean, primarily every now and again, but by and large, since 2017, I mean, this has been a thing that's been going on for a long time now. We're talking just about 7 years of daily writing and daily articles multiple times a day, every single day, basically without fail. And so there'll be plenty of articles on Start Spreading the News, even while we're celebrating my son and my new daughter-in-law's marriage. And the question on Sunday for the Sunday thread, so if you're watching this on Saturday, you'll get this early. The question is going to be, which Yankee is going to do something amazing out of the blue, something unexpected this postseason? Now, Chris Chambliss, I would say, was a minor star in 1976. So when he hit that big walk-off home run, I don't know if that was surprising. Reggie's 3 home runs in 1977 were majestic and great and awesome and wonderful. But again, I don't know if that was surprising. But Bucky Dent's home run sure was. Brian Doyle's great 1978 World Series sure was. Not a Yankee, but one of my favorite baseball moments, 1992, when Francisco Cabrera of the Braves gets the big hit that scores the limping, barely able to run Sid Bream with the winning run to send the the Braves to the World Series. That was unlikely. Jim Leyritz's big home runs, those were unlikely. Aaron Boone's big home run, that was unlikely. Who will be the Yankee this year to come up with the big moment, the big hit, the big series? And not necessarily who will be the guy. The easy answer is Aaron Judge, Garrett Cole, Juan Soto. Those are the easy answers, and they could be true, and I hope they're true. But who's going to be the guy that nobody expects? Does Anthony Volpe step up finally and have a huge offensive series? Does Oswaldo Cabrera? Is it the rookie Dominguez? Does Jose Trevino come off the bench as the now backup catcher and hit 473 in the postseason with I don't know, 3 home runs? Who's going to be that guy? Does Clay Holmes redeem himself as a relief pitcher? That's a fun question. And no one knows, but it's so fun. And somehow it also speaks to our optimism, our hope. You could pick Anthony Rizzo. He's going to find it once again. Could be. So stay tuned on Sunday morning. That article comes at 10 a.m., where the readers will share their great thoughts about who's going to have the big moment. You know, it's been a frustrating Yankees season. It's been a frustrating 15 seasons since they last won the World Series in 2009. The other day I was driving and, I'm back to work. And so on an interim basis, as an interim supervisor in a high school. And so on my very short commute, sometimes I listen to music. Sometimes I listen to WQXR, New York's classical station. I find it soothing and calming. Sometimes I listen to Q104.3 because I enjoy the rock and roll. Sometimes I listen to 101 CBS FM because I enjoy, I don't know, you wouldn't call them classics necessarily. It used to be the home of the classics, but now it's more just like more mellow, less popular or less heavy rock, or they play some good heavy rock there sometimes, but you know what I mean? Like, I guess it's more standards of pop, rock and pop standards or whatever. But sometimes I do get in the mood for some sports radio. And somebody called up yesterday onto one of the shows and said something about, is it better to be like the football giants, who are usually pretty bad, but have won a couple of Super Bowls? Is that better? Or is it better to be like the San Francisco 49ers, who seem to be in it all the time, who make it to the postseason, who've made it to a number of Super Bowls and lost? And I think if you asked me any year after 1997 or 98 or 99, what's better? I'd say I just want my team in it every year, knowing they'll win it sometimes and they'll lose it sometimes, and that's okay. I think I've changed that philosophy. After 15 years of no championships, I'm not asking for a World Series every year. I'm not asking for the Yankees to win the World Series every other year. I mean, I want them to, but I'm not going to be cranky if they don't. But I am looking for a World Series celebration more than once every 15 years. And really, if you go back to 2000, the season itself, since 2001, 25 years, the Yankees have won it only once. I'm looking for more than that. That's not good enough. So I would take the New York Giants, the football team. And I'd rather the Yankees win a World Series every 4 years, every 6 years, to keep me satiated, to keep me calm. I'm always calm, but to keep me happy. To celebrate the fan base, which of there is no other equal to, as far as the Yankees are concerned, and baseball is concerned, a loyal and dedicated fan base. I mean, think about this. I run this Yankee site. I do 2 podcasts a week. I'm putting up articles 3 times a day at minimum every day since 2017. My goodness, if that's not love, if that's not dedication. And the Yankees, of course, know about all this. They've seen the articles, both good and bad. I give them a ton of free advertising because of my love for the team. And all I'm asking for in return is a couple of World Series, more than one every 25 years. My goodness. So, yeah, give me a couple championships. I'm ready. Win it all, Yankees, this year. Do it. Get it done. I'm tired of waiting. But, of course, the anticipation, the fun, the excitement. This has not been a fun year. This has not been a fun decade of constantly failing to get the big job done. If the big job is whatever, making sure you're healthy, if it's your doctor, if the doctor gets a job done once well in 25 years, you would go to a different doctor. If the mailman only brings you the mail, well, once every 25 days, you'd complain to the post office. If the sanitation workers only once every 25 weeks took your garbage away effectively, you'd be upset. If your car mechanic only once every 25 years actually fixed your car, you'd find a new mechanic. It's time for the Yankees to win. The struggle can be fun, but I've had enough of the struggle. You know, there's a lyric. I'm going to surprise you already. I'm going to read the lyric. It's from a song I like. I'm a big Beatles fan. My second favorite group always is I've always considered Queen. Yeah, I love the album Back in Black by AC/DC, which came out when I was like 12, and I played incessantly on cassette. Big Billy Joel fan. The Beach Boys, I think, are great. I have a wide, diverse love. Joe Jackson of music. There's so many good artists and songs. I also love Mozart, Beethoven, Bach, Vivaldi, Dvorak. Love it all. There's so much music that I love. But I'm going to surprise you by quoting an artist you'd never think I'd quote on this show. There's a lyric, it goes, there's always going to be another mountain. I'm always going to want to make it move. Always going to be an uphill battle. Sometimes I'm going to have to lose. Ain't about how fast I get there. Ain't about what's waiting on the other side. It's the climb. Yeah, Miley Cyrus. Surprising you with that one, right? It's a great song, The Climb. And it talks to the struggle to get to the top. And she's right. That song is right. The struggle is fun. But eventually you've got to make it to the top. And that's where the Yankees haven't gotten. And so I'm ready for them to get there. Yeah, the climb is great. In my own life, I'm going through the climb. As you know, I'm training for the New York City Marathon. That's just in like 7 weeks now. If you can, find my page. If you go to drpaulsem.com or you type in Sesame on Start Spreading the News, I'm running to support the Sesame Workshop when I run the New York City Marathon this year. It would be really appreciated if you could find it in your heart to donate to the Sesame Workshop through my efforts by running the New York City Marathon. That would be wonderful if you did that. But getting ready to run a marathon, that's a struggle. It's an uphill battle. And I'm pushing my way through it. But my training, probably the toughest training of my life. It's just I get out there and I run almost every day. You know, I'm doing 30 plus mile weeks every week for now 5 or 6 or 7 weeks. The mileage isn't quite there because in my heyday I was doing 40-mile weeks. But if you were doing 35-mile weeks, 32-mile weeks, 36-mile weeks, you're basically ready. But my long runs haven't been great. So for me, it's been an uphill battle. It's been a big climb trying to get to the other side. In fact, as soon as this is done, it's a little after 6 a.m. now on Thursday. I'm going to jump on my treadmill, and I already ran. You're not going to believe this. I already ran 3 miles before this at 5. And then I'm going to get back on there and try to bang out another however many miles I can do before I have to get ready for work. It's all about the struggle. It's all about the climb. So, big family weekend, big wedding, big celebration. Don't ever forget, I didn't do this at the top, but our program is always brought to you by Artemisia Publishing. Artemisia, who published my wonderful book. It's about the climb, in a sense, 365.2. That's my efforts to run every single day for a calendar year. That's the 365. And a calendar year is 365 and a quarter days. That's the 0.2. That book should motivate you. That book should help you understand how hard it is to set goals, but how important it is and how great it is to accomplish them. It looks like a running book. It sounds like a running book, but it's not. Of course, they've also published the great biography of Roy White, and they published my wonderful book, The Least Among Them. All great books. All the last two have won awards. 365.2 is now nominated for an award. And they also have books in across a variety of genres. Great books. Great authors. Great writing. Check out apbooks.net. So I will be back Monday night for the Start Spreading the News blog show, the podcast. I might have Andy Singer with me. I might have Mike Whiteman with me. EJ Fagan might return, or it might just be me solo. By then, the Yankees may have clinched the AL East. I sure hope they do. The next time I'm alone, and maybe even if I have a guest, I want to run down some of my biggest Yankees postseason memories. Maybe you can start thinking about sharing yours. Until then, my friends, have yourselves a wonderful, a terrific, a fantastic day, a great weekend. Make today great. Make your weekend great. Do the right thing. Give love. Give kindness. Give compassion. I promise, once you start doing that from the heart, with all sincerity, it'll come back to you in greater amounts than you ever gave. Have a great day.